All right. We should be live. Yes, we are. What's up, my
Yes,
crypto legends? How is everybody doing today? Special guest, we have Devolt, who is an absolute expert in technical analysis. He's been in the crypto space for many years. Devolt, how are you doing today?
I'm fantastic. Thanks for having me again on your live stream, Andy. Really appreciate it. Honored to be here.
Absolutely wonderful. Guys, we're going to be discussing, as usual, what we like Bitcoin, pure technical analysis. We have Devolt here. We can see his opinion. You're going to see my opinion as well. Different scenarios. We'll be going through some altcoins on demand as well here in the comment section. And we're also going to go through some interesting news that is going on here during the last few days. Now, guys, shall we start off here? I'm just going to say hello to the comment section, Devolt. I can see Daniel is here, Gold Star. Straightway Friday pump day, possibly 44K incoming. Will, we can discuss that. Is there possibility of going to $44,000 Devolt? What's your take?
Definitely a possibility, perhaps for a B flat target to the upside or a double XY correction. And I mean, we can analyze that when we dive into the price of Bitcoin, but definitely an option on the table.
Absolutely. Yeah. It sounds exciting. I do think so that we can get above 44K. I've been explaining a little bit also with the Legends trading community, how there is that possibility of getting that push up. Frank, how are you doing? We've got already 100 people watching the stream. Guys, make sure to destroy that like button if you wish. If you don't want to, then don't smash it, but it would be appreciated, obviously. And we got Drew here saying that bye Bitcoin, we're going to get into a big dump. Anyway, let's just analyze the charts here for Bitcoin. I'm going to dive in with you first here, Devolt, because my community knows what I know about today's update. They're following me, but probably some people are not following you and would want to know your thoughts. And guys, if you want to follow Devolt, check him out. I will leave the channel right away in the pinned comment now in the next coming minutes. So check him out. Devolt, I'm going to leave it to you here for the analysis.
Okay, perfect. Can you see my screen? I think we've disappeared, but let's do that.
We've just, yeah, there we go.
There we go. Okay. Perfect. So I think maybe, Andy, from my side, before I dive into the smaller time frames, because that's exciting, that's where everyone wants to do those juicy scalp, see where we can go to in the short term. Interesting. And I think from a news perspective, people are watching this all-time high to the low over here. And okay, let me just take this one out the way. This is quite confusing. And when you compare all the bull cycles that we've had in the past, generally speaking, when you hit the 618 from this FIB pool, the minimum target for a pullback is usually the 382. Every single bull cycle has pulled down to the 382. Some of them have extended. So just an interesting level to say that, well, perhaps the minimum pullback target is here by the $36,000 level. Yeah. Also, what I saw just now is if you take a FIB then from the bottom to the top, you will then see, these 382s, they just married here together at the moment. So perhaps that is a possible bouncing area. We'll just have to see and observe the price action when we do get to those levels.
Nice. Okay. That's interesting. So is that like a comparison from previous cycles as well, right? Where we like to go back to the 382, right?
I'm just going through here. So basically, this little chart that I have over here, you can see they've taken all the cycles, compared it to each other. They did the same FIB pool that I've just done from the high to the low. And generally speaking, the 382 is the minimum pullback. Here you can see we pulled through or pulled back to the 382, and we had a nice, bull market, full false bull market. Here again, 382, bull market. Here we had a deeper correction up until the 236. And then even lower, almost tapping the low.
Yeah, but we did bounce from the 382, right? I can see it right there. We did get that significant bounce from that 382. Of course, then we had this event called C19 that obviously crashed everything in the world. But yeah, it's interesting how that 382 has been respecting for a bounce.
And now the question is, will this time be different? I mean, only time will tell, but the market does rhyme. It doesn't repeat, but it does definitely rhyme.
Yeah, okay. And that 382 level is round about the $36,000.
$36,000, which are, round numbers are usually psychological numbers. So perhaps that is a bouncing point. And if that's not the start of the bull run, perhaps that is like, a bounce we had over here. You make a bounce, you make a lower high, you have a deeper correction, and then you continue on, depending on what happens out there in the world.
Yeah, I mean, crazy how on each cycle we have bounced back off from that 382. So, I mean, I didn't take that level into consideration based on the chart that you're sharing right now. So, definitely something to spot here for the next coming weeks if we were to get that leg down. So, yeah, phenomenal. That level is on the chart right now for me. We'll take it into consideration.
Cool. So let's do the interesting stuff. Let me go here onto the 2 hour. I like the 2 hour time frame sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so first things first, let's just acknowledge that we have been in an uptrend, higher lows, higher lows, higher lows. So from a market structure perspective, we now have a lower high. And just purely looking at this without technical analysis, it does look like it kind of wants to do this. Okay.
Yeah.
And
I'm
the question mark is,
yeah.
How far is that going to go?
Mm.
And I suppose you want as much fear as possible. We're going back to $20,000. We're going back to $15,000, and that's your ticket to say, okay, well, I'm starting to add to my spot bags. And so purely from a market perspective, or from a market structural perspective, this is what I'm looking at. And then this wave here, quite interesting wave over here, very confusing wave. Even from an Elliott wave perspective, very confusing because it has a number of ways that it can play out. First things first is that, perhaps this is an A. We are now busy with a B wave. And B waves, from an Elliott wave perspective, are considered the most difficult waves to trade. And why? People ask, why are they the most difficult waves? Because B waves has so many targets. When you take a fib from the top to the bottom, and you take a fib extension from the top to the bottom, you drag it across and you reverse. Okay, let's just put it there so the levels don't overlap. You reverse it. Okay, B wave targets are crazy. You have a B wave target over here. You have a B wave target by the 382, by the 50%, by the 618, 786, even as high as the 88. Then you also have a 1-to-1 ratio, a 1.05 ratio, and then further up you have B flat targets here by the 136. So it's considered the most difficult wave to trade because it has so many levels. What makes this fun for me and you, Andy, is the fact that we have daily and weekly levels that we can use as confluence. Okay, so taking the fib out the way, now I can zoom into this little structure and say, well, when I start adding daily levels and I start adding weekly levels and I put on point of controls, it gets quite a bit messy, but this is where I do my analysis in the morning and I make my chart messy to see where are levels of confluence. And you start zooming into this price structure, then you can see, okay, well, we have a daily that we've broken through, and perhaps this is a fresh daily level, actually. This is a fresh daily level from yesterday. So perhaps there is a SFP potential over here. But then further up, we have SFP from this daily level, and that's why we're now getting the momentum to the downside. So depending on how you react at each level will give you that confident trade to say that, well, from a higher time frame perspective, we are looking for the market to potentially turn around and make a lower high. And I would be very interested for every short that I play on my way up is you take profit by the VWAP. We've all been trained. You take profit by the VWAP, but I am leaving more of my position open for potential that lower prices to come. So I'm more aggressive with my shorts, leaving some of the position open. And that's basically from a short perspective, is just to leave some of the position open, expecting us to turn around in this area somewhere. And then you want to catch that momentum here to the downside.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I totally agree with you on that side, where I do expect a lower high to be formed. Was it at 43,800, or is it going to be above 44K or 45K? Like you said, a B wave can be very, very complex, of course. Now, what is curious to say that I was talking about with my community is well, basically on YouTube as well, is this momentum that we've had during the last week, right, from the 23rd of January. So it kind of formed, you could arguably discuss 5 waves to the upside, or, you know, or could it be the 3rd wave? We're still inside of the 4th wave. You know, it's a little bit tricky at this moment. You know, will there be enough steam? Yeah, exactly, to actually break through from now. You know, I personally think that if we were to get a push up above $44,000, maybe in between today, tomorrow, or your next couple of days, before getting beneath 41,500, I would see this still as a corrective structure, just because it's been too short, this corrective move that we've had since that high on the 30th of January, right? Just a few days ago.
Yeah.
So I'm kind of
Definitely.
mixed up, you know, here with the, you know, what could happen if we were to shoot up here in the coming days. We are getting a bit of a pullback at the moment, but if we were to go up there, you know, do you see a successful break from the 30th of January highs, basically at 43,800? You know, or would you expect a price
Yes.
to shoot up? Or
So for me to try and keep it as simple as possible is that this can be the end of the structure, or we still need to go and make the 5th wave.
yeah,
And the easiest way for me to play this scenario is to say that even if I take the 5-wave structure out the way, is to say that if this is the end of the 3 and we're still going to make the 5, or this is the end of the 5 and we're potentially going to make a B flat to the upside or a WXY, there's one thing that does work in our favor is to say that when you measure your 5th wave targets and your B flat targets, they have the same targets. And that's why I have this red box over here. Okay. So the 5th wave can turn around by the 1.236 and the 1.382. A maximum target for your 5th wave is here by the 1.618, and that's why I have it marked out here, is to say that, well, how do I play the scenario? Is to say that a B flat to the upside and a 5th wave have the same targets. So the B flat has these targets, but the 5th wave has this target. So I would be keeping in mind these 2 levels for an SFP
reaction. Yeah.
And if we do get higher, I'm like, okay, well, now it's a 5th wave, but I'm still expecting a turnaround. Just a little bit higher than people expected, but you should still see that, you know, tumbling down from this area. I know it's quite a big area, so perhaps low leverage, low capital when you play these areas. And obviously, you want to short the acceptance back below the level, not as we are pumping, because me and Andy can be wrong, and, you know, we just rocket from here. And,
kind of a breakout of the local structure that happens on the lower time frames, right? You know, because what happens is you create those higher highs, slightly higher highs, you wick those, you know, shorters that have extreme high leverage, and then you have that volatility with those small little swing failure patterns, and then you break down. So for me, those are the other favorite moments for me to trade. I mean, I'll share the chart now, just 1 second, just to go through what you mentioned, basically based on these waves. You know, if we were to get that movement to the upside here, for me, there's only, like you said, there's only just 2 cases here. It would be unusual if the price suddenly, you know, rockets here. It is going to top out at some point. You know, it's just with the timing, it just doesn't look right. And we should see this either as a 5th wave or as a ABC flat, right? That is if we were to get up there. And how I would trade this, you know, unless we're losing this high, and then obviously that would be a confirmation for me that we're likely going to come down to likely these lows over here. That is if we do not hit those lows in between today and tomorrow. You know, the way I would trade this is on the lower time frames. Look for that choppiness, right? Look for those slightly higher highs, a bit of choppiness, and, you know, that consolidation, that reaction based on the 1.236, 1.382, like you mentioned, at that zone for a possible 5th wave or for a B wave, right? It's just that is the magic of the 2 scenarios, right? If it is a corrective move, then you got your target. If it is the 5th wave, you got that same target. So I'm very much interested in looking at the price action here to try and get into that short position. And it could be an absolute mess. It could look something similar to this. It could get very, very choppy. It could get very confusing, because this is going to be a point in my opinion, where you're going to see a lot of people bullish and, you know, some people bearish as well, looking for that lower high. So it's going to be a lot of confusion right there. And based also on breaking the value area high of the entire trading range. We're going to zoom in on the lower time frames now because we are getting a bit of a drop. But yeah, breaking value area high here, you know, you'd possibly think, okay, this does look bullish. This does look bullish. But if you do get that choppiness, obviously, you just see the price exhausting and no doubt getting back beneath the lows of the 30th of January, the high, sorry, and losing that value area high is just going to be a clear sign of weakness for me. It's just likely going to get a deep corrective move. It's a high probability scenario if that were to be the case after the breakout. Is it going to zoom in? We're going to get a little bit of a pullback at the moment, getting a bit of a pullback here. I mean, you could arguably discuss that this pullback, and I'm sure you're going to agree with me because we do very similar analysis and we have been actually talking about this, was the massive bearish CVD divergence that we were forming on Bybit. Basically, I'm going to let you share that, DeWalt, because I've opened a new browser and I haven't got it linked here, but I'll leave it on you.
As you know, I think, Andy, you know, today we are singing the same song, and our analysis, you know, if you guys want fresh updates, detailed analysis from myself and Andy, please go and join the Legends community, where myself and Andy have done multiple updates today. Andy did a nice little private stream with the community just now. And when we spoke about this, and, you know, Andy, I think we are definitely singing the same song at the moment, where when you look at CVD, you know, just grab my little tool over here.
Yeah, a lot of people on Bybit were long in here during the last couple of hours. Yeah.
Look at this. I mean, ever so slightly, you know, and even from this, it's just been building up. It's building up, building up, building up, and then eventually you do this.
Yeah, and then price just,
And what's now interesting is blue is dropping quite fast. So it could be that it's now going to start building up bullish CVD against this point, but it needs to drop a little bit faster to catch up to these pivots over here. Okay. But yeah, it's a lot of bearish CVD at the moment. And it wasn't an easy range to trade. Just want to see over here.
You could arguably discuss that the targets have been met already from the bearish CVD. All of those lows,
yes, has been taken.
They have been taken. So they've already played out, kind of thing. So now we could be possibly looking for those bullish CVD divergence forming, where we could get supported at some point.
Definitely, you know, and I think, you know, these corrective structures can get very complex, and, you know, this could even be where you have a 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, and this 2 can even go here by the weekly 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. And what is that? That's a, you know, I know it's very complex and not a lot of people will understand it, but that's basically your WX. Wait. I'm stuffing this up. WXY. Okay. And all the WXY means is that you have an ABC inside of each leg where you have 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. And then you have 3 ABC corrective structures within a WXY, which still gives you, you know, ultimately what I am looking for is I'm looking for a 3-wave structure here. I'm looking for a 3-wave structure. I don't know how deep that retracement is going to go, but preferably not taking this low. Okay, so let me just take some of the brushes out the way, is to say that I'm looking for a 3-wave structure for having a turnaround, which is then an ABC, what could be a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. But for now, 3-wave structure is what I'm looking at. And the question is, are we going to do this first, then dump, then go up, or is this the low and we're going to make 1, 2, 3 up to the upside, and then you have a bigger 1, 2, 3?
Yeah, I mean, I cannot disagree here, because my analysis is very, very similar as well on the possible movements. I mean, it's just pure technical analysis, so nothing that I could disagree here with you here. That weekly level, those lows are very, very interesting to see how the price could react at that zone right there. Yeah, because it's just it could be a sweep up of those lows, and then price consolidates, not managing to break through to much lower levels. And then I think if you reclaim that level, as you dip beneath it, if you do get beneath it and reclaim it, it's likely going to get a recovery, in my opinion, just based on getting back up to above $44,000 in this ABC wave, right, for the last week. So
Yes.
a movement down from here beneath that weekly 41,500, I think will not have enough power to go to the ultimate lows, really, right around about 39k. It's likely to create a higher low. That's just what I personally think, based on another leg to the upside. It's just looking at the timing as well. This is obviously I would expect lower based on the pumps that we've had from the 23rd of January till the 30th of January, where we topped out at 43,800. We still have time. We still have time to correct. We need to go down a little bit more, because we just retraced to the 382, right? If I'm not mistaken, from the low of the 23rd to the high.
And we didn't even really tap it. And I think, Andy, you make such a good point, is to say that when you take a fib from the bottom to the top, and depending on which exchange you use, if I zoom in here, we didn't tap the 382.
All right. You didn't even tap it.
Look at that. We didn't even tap it. So I like to see levels tapped. And this, to me, because it hasn't been tapped, increases probabilities that we most probably kind of come back down to claim the liquidity and tap it properly.
Yeah.
Maybe SFP in here from this weekly level. I think if I look at liquidity, Andy, I mean, look at that. You've got liquidity here.
Yeah.
So a potential scenario is you come down, you grab the liquidity, markets here to surprise us and stuff everyone around. Then you move up, you grab the liquidity on top, and then you move down, you come and grab the liquidity at the bottom. And then you have the bigger movement to the upside. It's just, you don't know where the market's going to go and turn around.
Yeah. But like you said, right, when we at this zone, you're like, okay, we could bounce from here, we could drop lower, but the interest point of where to take in a possible trading setup would be at that lows or at the $44,000, right? This is, basically when we analyze the levels and situation. Currently where we at right now, we're kind of a bit in the middle, a bit of no man's land. I would rather claim that $44,000 area, grab the liquidity, understanding that it could be an ABC flat and we could come back down to get into a short position, or come down first to that weekly zone, check the reaction, see if it is going to reclaim that level, and then jump into the level and into the long position based on bears are getting exhausted. We're forming that double, triple bottom, right? Kind of a descending wedge structure, and you look getting ready for that reversal. So that is definitely the zone where we have that weekly level that I think, price could get choppy right there, and it would be interesting to consider a day trade swing long position at that level. Yeah.
Definitely, Andy. And I mean, I think a lot of traders are also watching this structure over here, and they are most probably looking at this area saying that, wow, look at all this consolidation. Definitely a strong area of support. Okay.
Yeah.
So perhaps the scenario that everyone has in mind is to say that not really much happening over here. Perhaps this is the area that I will build a spot position or a position to at least have a bounce. Even if it doesn't claim the highs or whatever, but at least it's almost, nothing's guaranteed, but it's almost guaranteed that you're going to get a bounce in this area because of this.
Yeah. I mean, absolutely. I like these levels for scalps, even though if it's a scalp, I can make gains with a $200 move on Bitcoin. I don't care if it bounces $1,000 or $2,000 or 200. When it's such a good level, I know it's likely going to get a bounce, and I know how to profit. I'm extremely defensive, and I like taking profits, at certain local levels of resistance, in this case for the bounce, such as VWAP or a major high volume node from previous day, right? So a naked point of control in this case. I would be relatively quick to take profits when I realize where there is resistance. And I mean, this was something that was mentioned just over a week ago, also on YouTube, but most importantly with the Legends trading community. I'm just going to share the chart here about that 43,600. I was not begging, but I was basically saying, guys, this level is going to reject with 90% probability. This is just a massive, massive level based on Fibonacci, based on, you know, pivot high here to the pivot low. We had the 50% Fibonacci just at that zone here with the point of control of December and January, massive high volume node right over here. We also had a clear lower high for a liquidity grab, stop losses. It was, you know, I'm going to short this level. I did short this level. And, you know, exactly. Yeah. I mean, I was talking about this level since we were trading down here. You know, I was like, you know, hey, the level that I want is this one. This is the high probability short scenario. And I was talking about it here, here, here. And, you know, when it's so clear, I like to talk about it every single day. I'm going to get it in your skull and say this level is extreme high probability rejection. And we did get obviously a 4,500 rejection first on the lower time frames where I entered the scalp, and also for a day trade you came back up, you know, and kind of SFP'd from, no, basically back tested the first touch high here. What was interesting here, Friday today, Wednesday, we came back up to that level, and look how, I mean, this is just a huge level. You know, the price action did not manage to do much at that zone, just quickly came up and straight back down again. It was such a great level, and that's over $1,000 move to the downside. So I'm sure many people in the community also, even maybe on YouTube, because I mean, this was a higher time frame level. That this is a short. This is a level to short. Whether it rejects only a few $100s and then breaks through, it doesn't matter. It's, you know, you can short right there, be defensive, take some profits, you know, take it as a scalp or as a day trade or even a swing trade, right? As it is playing out from this moment. So yeah, just something I wanted to point out there. You know, when it's such important levels, and like you said, you know, there is a daily level all the way down here that with a, you know, massive consolidation. You know, you could just as easily as just getting this range. I'm not sure if the daily level is actually. Yeah, I mean, it's just, look at that. It's just right where the point of control is from this consolidation. This
double confluence,
like you said, is a high probability bouncing level. And it might just bounce a couple of $100 and then maybe break down, but it's going to bounce. You know, this is just you can make some profits here. I know a lot of people struggle with taking profits or leaving the position open or not being defensive with their stop loss. You need to do it. You need to be defensive. You need to take those profits because it's going to be a winning trade, whether that is small amounts or large amounts. It's a winning trade. You cannot make that trade turn into a losing trade because it will bounce. But if it bounces, you know, because maybe a lot of people think, hey, you said that this level was going to get a bounce, we were going to get an epic bounce, and, you know, I got stopped out. You know, it bounced, but you did not take profit. You know, there's the difference of, you know, aggressive or conservative traders. You know, trader is every single person is a different trader. We can do the same technical analysis, we can talk about the same setups, but some of them are going to even lose money. Some of them are even going to take profit. Some of them are going to get stopped out at break even without taking any profits. It's all it's a magic world because it's basically, you know, you make the decision. The analysis is from both of us or from everybody. The analysis can be the same, but the profit taking will be different. The stop losses will be different. That's the magic of trading. Anyway,
also,
yeah, you go ahead, DeWalt. I just wanted
also, Andy, you spoke about that obvious shorting level. I mean, I had my alarm set. I was still in bed sleeping, and when I saw the drop, I even did it in my update yesterday in my live stream. For those that watched, I share my trade, the profits that I've made, where I've entered. I mean, I got out of bed. I had to switch on my PC. I FOMO'd into the trade, but I still applied good risk management, as I explained, and, you know, made quite a significant profit, taking profit at the daily where I set it out. So definitely a shorting level where you shorted as well. Yeah. And, you know, that was a very obvious trade.
I mean, it
from
was
a technical perspective.
It was a high probability winning trade. It was just insanely high probability. You know, I was very, very confident to say, you know, during the price action during the last week, hey, there's a 90% chance that this is going to reject. It won't blast through this level. So, you know, that's when you have high confluence, right? You're adding Fibonacci, you're adding a point of control, a weekly or a daily level as well, right? So when you add so much confluence at a certain area, you just know that, you know, this lower high right there for the SFP, it's just, it was magical. It was a magical level. Anyway, before we continue the vote, you know, if anybody's interested in trading right now on Bybit, you do have a great bonus. You have the general bonus of $30,000. Of course, you need a significant deposit to get that bonus. But for people that are just depositing $100 or $200, you get $50 at the rewards hub just by depositing $100 and placing 1 or 2 trades just to move $500 worth of volume. Basically, with one trade with a bit of leverage, you can move this volume and you'll be getting that airdropped to the rewards hub. So you got $50 more apart from your $100, so you can trade and have more capital. Also get that 20% fee reduction here. Signing up with the link down below, guys, on Bybit. I know Bybit for me is the favorite one. I know, do you use Bybit, right, DeWalt?
Yes, I use Bybit. My 3 favorite exchanges is Bybit, Mexi, and BingX. Yeah, definitely.
Nice. Yeah. The links are down below as well for them. And in Mexi, put the fees extremely low again. I think it's 0.001 for taker fee, which I really enjoyed with the trading community because, hey, guys, you know, you if you put your stop loss at break even, you're basically not losing anything almost. All right, it's basically really, really low fees. So right now on Mexi, you got really, really low fees, and that's probably going to go on for a month or two. I don't know how long, but definitely for those scalpers out there, you need to take advantage of that for sure. Right, DeWalt, what shall we do next? I'm going to go through the comment section. I usually on the live streams, I really go through the comment section, and you know, sometimes with collaborations, it's for me pretty hard because there's a lot of, you know, you need to talk about a lot of things, and I don't want to break your analysis to take a look at the comment. But now that we've got a moment, I'm just going to go through the comment section. I see a couple of DXYs here. Check DXY. Aloha Valerie, how are you doing? A lot of people, got over 400 people, guys. Make sure to destroy the like button if you enjoy these collaborations, me and DeWalt. DXY, very interesting. Yeah, I like to take a look at DXY a lot. A lot of the community knows that. And I think I'm going to dive in right now. DXY is getting a bit of me higher time frame. I got to be sorry, but I'm bullish on the DXY. And it's being bullish on the DXY only means one thing for Bitcoin, that is it's not good. It means that Bitcoin is likely to get more pullbacks in the next coming weeks and months. Whether it goes above $44,000 or not, you know, this is only short time frame plays. If DXY starts breaking through here, and I mean, for me, it was really simple. It's simple. You know, volume profile, fixed volume ranges is one of the only things that I use for my trading, right? Well, not the only thing, but one, you know, I don't use much things on the chart based on, you know, price action, Fibonacci, volume profile, and a few levels. When I was talking about the DXY a few weeks ago, it's curious just looking at the market structure here during the last couple of years with a massive pump here happening during 2021 and 2022. Well, basically more mid 2021 and into 2022. That's when we had the brutal bear market for Bitcoin, right? 2022. Nobody's going to forget that. Now, obviously, where the price of Bitcoin bottomed out was in November, right? Where we had the FTX collapse. This is where the DXY topped out and started moving down. So there's a massive negative correlation. We cannot deny that. It's just, it is how it is. And if the DXY chart looks bullish, has a possibility in getting a leg up here, you know, Bitcoin will correct. I'm not talking about lower time frames. We're talking about, you know, next coming months, right? Possibly weeks, months, right? Who knows? 3 months, 5 months. So for me, looking at the DXY, you know, I'm relatively bearish entering into the halving stages, right, in April. So say March, April, May, I think we should be seeing some pretty deep corrective moves on Bitcoin, possibly going to the low 30K levels. And that is purely based on the possibility of the DXY here. As you know, this downtrend, absolutely wonderful. This is where we had the massive rally here in 2023, of course, with Bitcoin, as DXY was in a downtrend. And funny enough, July was a moment where the Bitcoin price did top out, where we had a massive rally here. Of course, when did Bitcoin and most of the cryptos started pumping very aggressively again, right? Was in between September and October. That's where the DXY topped out. So the situation here is just easy understanding, market structure right there. Downtrend being broken with a higher high, giving a high chance that this is going to be a higher low. So far, it is happening. I was talking about the value area low of this trading range over the last 2 years. You got value area high from 2015 to 2022. This is a 7-year range. That value area high is where we've been bouncing during 2023. We came back down here and I said, guys, this is probably going to be a higher low right there. We ain't going to come down to test this low. So we broke here the descending structure that we've had during, November and December. And yeah, look, DXY is looking a bit punchy at the moment. We're currently getting a bit of a reaction at the point of control of this range. We break above this level, ain't going to be looking too good for the next coming weeks. We're likely going to test here the highs and the value area high, where could it double top or not, or break through. We'll analyze that situation, but this price action to the upside ain't going to be good for Bitcoin for the coming weeks. So it's just something to point out, just a bit of negative correlation that we need to take into consideration. I mean, I always like to put the Bitcoin chart here with the DXY. Oh my goodness, this is, yeah, there we go. Yeah, basically, yeah, I just wanted to put here the price of Bitcoin with the DXY, just to show the negative correlation for any new subscribers or anybody that's not aware of this. There is massive negative correlation when the DXY tops out. That is where usually the price of Bitcoin bottoms out. This is higher time frame levels, looking at the daily chart, of course. Lower time frames, yeah, you can see the Bitcoin price pump and the DXY pump as well. Lower time frames don't affect too much. But yeah, basically where we saw the DXY bottoming out here and getting this massive rally, that is where the price of Bitcoin topped out here in July, right? Got in a major corrective move. Of course, as it was topping out here sideways, that is when Bitcoin started to rally. So what I am a little bit cautious about here is, I am looking for a lower high on Bitcoin. DXY is starting to pump out here. If DXY were to continue here to the upside in the coming weeks, I can already tell you there's just extremely high probability that we are going to dip below $39,000 and potentially lower. Just something to take into consideration. Always DXY for me, it's always a must take into consideration on higher time frames. So yeah, something I wanted to point out here. I got some comments here on DXY, and yes, I mean, I had to take a look at it. I am actually a bit bullish on the DXY, guys, for the coming weeks and few months, meaning that Bitcoin could be quite bearish, short term, mid-term, entering into the halving. After halving, we'll have to analyze the situation with the DXY as well, because usually after a halving, we get in that, supply shock on Bitcoin, and the price should recover after the corrective move that happens, between now and maybe a couple of months after the halving. Right. Any altcoins? I don't see much altcoins here actually in the comment section, guys. I wish I could go through the comment section as much as I do in my live streams, but we have Devolt here that also has a lot to share. He's been sharing the analysis on Bitcoin, and I'm going to ask you, Devolt, do you have an altcoin there that you have been analyzing that you would like to share with my community? Guys, by the way, if you want to follow Devolt, okay, on his channel where he does post every single day analysis, you have him on the pinned comment in the comment section, okay? I will leave it right away again, but it is on the pinned comment. That is Devolt's YouTube channel where he posts every single day analysis on the market as well. So Devolt, do you have something else here for the community?
I always have something in my pocket, and
I know you do. I know you do.
Yeah, Andy, and I mean, just to comment on that, DXY, I mean, depending on how high we go with the DXY, extremely bullish momentum could even send us down, below the $32,000 level that some of the analysts are eyeing, and for me, to be extremely greedy from a spot perspective is I want to see blood in the streets. I want to see people
Absolutely.
saying we're going back to $15,000. When you see everyone turning bearish and the fear and greed index is at extreme fear, and perhaps we are here at $28,000, that is where you buy. I want to see the fear kick in. And based on the DXY, it is definitely a possible level that we can go and test.
I wish Bitcoin went below $30,000. I wish.
Definitely,
I've never had as much cash as I have now, and I need to use it. I need to use it, and I would like to buy Bitcoin at cheaper levels. I mean, will it happen or not? A lot of people say that is not going to happen. Look around you, ETF. BlackRock, they are buying every single week. Their bags are getting bigger and bigger. There's no chance that we're going to go down there, but who knows? Of course we could go down there, guys. The charts do say that we could go to the lower $30,000 level. So I would be happy to scoop up some Bitcoin at those levels for sure.
Definitely. And I mean, I've just noticed here as well, nice little SFP first attempt here at the daily level. So, if we do come back and we roll over, we SFP again, claiming the liquidity below this low, get acceptance back above. Definitely a level to keep an eye on. Okay.
Yeah.
I think also breaking down, retesting it could send us down a little bit further. But yeah, the weekly level, yeah. Anyways, just some hints and tips over there.
Absolutely. Always good.
The one coin actually provided by my brother this morning. So shout out to you, Hannes, if you are watching. We discussed this coin this morning and we love ourselves some double bottoms. I know Mark Dutch, I'm not sure if you're here. You also like double bottoms. We all like them.
Even triple bottoms.
Yes, or triple bottoms, yes. So looking here at GMT, the easiest way for me to trade double bottoms, if you do get that opportunity to, when you ever see double bottoms, like we have a nice little double bottom here under on GMT. And I mean, we haven't broken the trend. And you will notice that my trading strategy for altcoins is completely different than what I trade Bitcoin. Bitcoin, I use daily, I use value area sessions, I use volume strategies, I use harmonics. But when it comes to certain altcoins, I like myself a little line and I just track the momentum either to the up or the downside. And then when you see little double bottoms like this, it does look like we can find strength to either come and tap one of these levels. And the reason I have these levels is that, generally speaking, and I mean, nothing is guaranteed in the market, is that when you retrace, when you have the momentum up and you retrace this deep, it is usually an A, B, C, and then you fall down again. Okay. And when you take your fib extension from the low to the high, then you have C wave targets. Okay, so generally how I trade B wave or double bottoms is to say you go and take your fib extension and you have TP 1, 2, 3, and 4. Okay, and you can maybe leave some of the position open for higher levels, but to guarantee profits, this is usually how I trade double bottoms. So potentially how this can play out is that you break through the trend line, making people extremely bullish. Everyone puts their stops here below the low. That's how breakout traders trade. And then this happens.
Okay. Yeah.
So just want to prevent that fake outs and take profit where you need to take profit, and not just are we going to come to these levels over here. And yes, we could, but from a guaranteed profit perspective, this is where you take profits when I play double bottoms. Yeah. So this is the interesting one that I am watching at the moment, is to say, it looks interesting, it looks juicy. Obviously, you need to exercise good risk management. And I'm not sure what you see yet, Andy.
Yeah, no doubt. I mean, it already created a swing failure pattern from the low and got a bounce. I would personally not, with my style of trading, enter where we currently at the moment. No, of course, you could take the risk and just place a stop loss, as you can beneath the lows. But for me, you're kind of entering a little bit late. I like to catch the ultimate swing failure pattern low and manage. Yeah, exactly. That was just about a couple of days ago, right? Maybe yesterday or before. You're on the 4-hourly time frame. Yeah, I would have checked that low being tested and get into a long right there. But yeah, no doubt about the target zones. Yeah, it's pretty obvious. You know, I would target the high is basically the neckline, right, where you do have the target zones. You know, just by hitting that high, if it does swing value pattern from that high, for me that would already be a, you know, must take profit. So if
Nice
you
little
hit,
profit.
yeah.
Definitely. And I mean, you know, the way and the style that me and you trade, Andy, is definitely you have your value area low. You want to catch it as low as possible. Catching it, yes, is too high risk. And I mean, your
No.
stop loss, now you start going work out risk management and you're like, okay, if I play the breakout here, two problems that I see. You have a stop loss that's 8% away. That is massive. So firstly, you can't apply any leverage to this trade if you're clever, you know.
You will never see me place a stop loss like that unless it's a swing trade. Never.
Yes.
But maybe beneath the point of control right there, maybe a tightish one. You know, I'm not the best TA guy out there, but I can say that my risk management is, you know, is one of the best out there. You know, the risk, I'm really proud of my risk management and what makes me profitable every single month. But TA, I'm wrong many times on the technical analysis, but when it's losses, you know, you won't see me losing significant amounts. You know, I used to, obviously, back in the day, starting in trading. It happens to everyone, but not anymore. Not anymore. We learn the lesson the hard way. So,
yeah, I mean, Andy, I just remember those days where you play the breakout. You enter, your stop loss is below here. And then as the price does this, you add, and you're like, it just has to turn around. And then what you do is you go and move your stop loss. Okay. It has to turn around. It has to turn around. And then it just poof, falls down. Okay. And then there goes your account. You liquidate it. You sad. You don't want, you know, it's risk management that keeps you in the game, even if your analysis is wrong. So, yeah, I mean, this was the level too long, is that you claiming the value area low, you get acceptance back above, you enter with your stop loss down below, you move into a green, you protect your position, a little bit of education out there, and now you're leaving some of the position open to come and claim this high. Okay. So that's, I think that's the juicy alt I have on, I have in my pocket for today.
nice.
As you can see, I'm looking at a couple of altcoins over here, not really in a trade at the moment. I did do a small little scalp on Atom this morning. This was my trade scenario over here. But I got out. I entered and then I clicked the wrong button and I exited the position by mistake, but still $4 profit on my BingX account. If you've been watching my live stream, it's a $50 account that I started, which I've now played up to $200. So still $4 on a $200 account is not bad profit, but I exited this trade, didn't really feel confident. And we are here struggling by the point of control. Okay, just take this out. We are by a point of control. We need to break through, okay, consolidate above to confirm momentum to the upside.
Yeah, it looks pretty good there on Atom. I'm like really out on altcoins, really out. You know, the Legends trading community does know, you know, I'm purely Bitcoin. You know, 90% of my Bitcoin, or even of my trading, or even 95% is Bitcoin. You just need one asset, you know, to be extremely profitable. And the chart, the asset that I know how it moves is Bitcoin. You know, some altcoins, you know, obviously I've, you know, unless it's a high probability trade, I will jump into an altcoin trade. But you know, Bitcoin is absolutely beautiful how it moves, especially when you know how it moves. I mean, I've been taking a look at the Bitcoin chart, you know, every single day for the last over 6 years, right? And it's like, I know, you know, once you see something every single day for over 6 years, you kind of know, you know, where it's going to dance around, right? How it's gonna move, and that's the beauty. That's why sometimes I take a look at an altcoin, and then I'm like, what is this? You know, what kind of volatility is this? You know, the movements are different. So unless it's a very high probability, then, you know, I would trade that altcoin. I'm going to go quickly through comment section here. The Vault say, you know, I'm not paying too much attention to the community. I can see Aditya here, one of my moderators, joining here the stream. Thanks for joining, Aditya. And I got a really nice comment here from someone who's Market M saying, I think Andy is one of the best TA guys on YouTube. I had to read that comment out loud. No, but Yeah, I disagree. I disagree personally. You know, it is. Well, I'm not sure on YouTube. I'm not sure on YouTube, but definitely not the best TA guy out there. But yeah, thank you very much for that kind comment. So yeah, I mean, we've been on the stream here for quite some bit, guys. I'm not sure if we are gonna, you know, I'm not sure if DeVault has something else. I'm gonna let him think about it while I talk about the K app, because I've partnered with the K app, guys, and there is $1,000 giveaway. Check the second link down below in the description. I did place a tweet today. It's going to be 2 giveaways of $500 if you sign up here with the K app with the link down below, and you just need to follow the steps here from this tweet, which is basically sign up to the K app with the link, activate your cash account, which is basically here as soon as you see the cash tab
Oh,
here.
sorry,
Once you
Andy,
sign
you're
up.
not sharing your screen.
Oh, sorry, my bad. My bad. Yeah, I was going to go here right away here through that scenario. So basically, there is $1,000 giveaway for 2 of $500. Okay. The only thing that you need to do looking at this tweet is sign up through the K app and activate your cash account. It is as easy as just going here, signing up, and clicking here on the cash tab. And you just need to deposit $20. You can convert it to Bitcoin afterwards into Euro. You can do whatever you want, but just so they can see that you're using the K app, okay? Then you are entering into the giveaway, which will be announced next week on Friday, okay? So make sure to pay attention. There will be 2 lucky people that will be getting $500 Tether. So check it out, guys. You got the link down below. If you want to get into the giveaway, you just need to follow these steps right over here. Now, yeah, DeVault, anything else for the community?
Maybe just a last comment from my side, Andy, is that I truly find inspiration and value that me and you are here for the same reason. And when we've had some offline conversations, is to say that myself and Andy share a passion for anyone that's watching and joining the Legends community, to teach them to become successful traders by applying good risk management and all the TA knowledge that we know to make ourselves successful traders. Our goal is to teach you to fish for yourself and not rely on signals from some people and in order to take trades, because when those people are not there, how do you fish by yourself if someone else keeps on catching the fish for you? So from my side, Andy, I appreciate you. I've been stalking you with my analysis for quite some time. I think we share the one great aspiration is to teach people how to fish by themselves with good risk management, so that you can stay in the game and make huge profits, not trying to 100x your account in a week's time, because you're going to get burnt that way. So just some parting words from myself, and I know the people in the Legends community. Also a link down in the description if you want to join our Legends community, where myself and Andy share daily analysis, teaching people, answering questions on how to trade. And that's basically it from my side.
And explaining also the setups, right? It's super important to not just say, okay, enter here, take profit here, stop loss here, but giving the actual explanation of the trade. If we were to get this move, reject at this point, bounce at here, and give the explanation on why, this is a good trade setup, so you can actually find it in the near future by your own, right? I remember my first few years when I started trading and learning technical analysis, it was on, my goal as well was, what is the best signals channel? Where can I go into free Telegram or pay somebody that can give me signals every single day? And I can already tell you, I went through most of them or a lot of them basically, and you never find one that is actually going to make you profitable long term. It just doesn't happen. You never see that sustainable signals channel. If you do have one, please let me know. I'll be happy to be trading them, but basically it's not sustainable for your own education, because once that signal channel is gone, you have nothing left. And the best thing is the education, where you can actually fish by your own, like you were saying, because the knowledge. And now there's nothing better than, for me, that I've you know, I know how the market moves. I know how to trade. I know how to apply risk. So that is the, you know, I really try to inspire people to, you know, learn, because there will be a moment, you know, that you do it on your own. You don't need anybody. And I have got actually quite a few DMs during the last few months of people that are actually saying, you know, hey, I've been profitable for 3 consistent months, you know, and I never experienced this before. And I'm like, okay, that's, you know, I mean, it's so cool to see, because that's the overall end goal. So yeah, thanks for those kind words, DeVault. Thank you very much for joining the stream today. Guys, I didn't go through most of the comments, but I will be doing another live stream, of course, tomorrow, and I will be going through more of the comment section, guys. Okay, so don't worry about that. DeVault, thank you very much for your time, for your analysis, and I will catch you very soon. Probably we're going to do another collaboration next week. I think, you know, my community does enjoy very much you on the channel, so thank you very much, DeVault, for joining.
Perfect. Thanks, Andy. Thanks for having me. Thanks for everyone that's watching. Please smash up the like, subscribe for future notifications, and let's go and enjoy the weekend.
Exactly. You got DeVault's channel, guys, in the comment section, in the pinned comment, so you can follow him on YouTube. He also posts every single day, and I think his analysis is wonderful. So go and check him out. Thank you, DeVault, and I'll see you in the next one.